We present Snowy, a visualization system that recommends utterances for conversational visual analysis. To guide users throughout their analysis, Snowy recommends utterances at different points, including at the start of a session, as follow-ups for user utterances, as well as deictic utterances that complement direct manipulation actions such as selections. To generate recommendations, Snowy monitors a user's interactions to track which fields have been looked at, as well as what types of analytical intents the user is interested in. Combining this information with the active interface state, Snowy shortlists the types of recommendations it should present, parameterizing them so that they promote data and analytical coverage, and generates phrasings that showcase the linguistic variability supported by the tool. A preliminary user study with 10 participants suggested that Snowy's recommendations support conversational visual analysis by guiding the participants' analytical workflows and promoting the use of natural language. As an example of how utterance recommendations can aid visual analysis, let's consider a usage scenario. Tintin, an analyst at a production house, is using Snowy to explore a dataset of movies to understand what type of movies his company should invest in. To help Tintin kickstart his exploration, Snowy automatically processes the data to identify interesting patterns and presents these as utterances to Tintin. Finding the recommendation about looking at worldwide growth over time to be interesting, Tintin selects it as his input utterance. Snowy now updates the recommendations to include follow-up utterances to drill down into the current chart. Curious about the trend across different content ratings, Tintin selects Compare Across Content Ratings as his next utterance and notices that PG-13 has the most stable trend. Skimming through the updated recommendations, Tintin notices that Snowy is suggesting that Tintin looks at production budget instead of worldwide gross. Through the recommendations phrasings, Tintin also learns that he can use natural language to swap and compare attributes. As Tintin again looks at the recommendations to see what he should ask next, he sees that he can ask Snowy to compute averages across groups of genres. Curious to see other potential group-based queries, Tintin requests similar recommendations and subsequently selects an utterance to compare the gross values across movie genres. Inspecting the chart, Tintin notices that action and adventure have much higher values compared to other groups. Snowy also makes his observation and suggests an utterance for Tintin to drill down into the highest grossing genre. Analyzing Tintin's actions so far to ensure that he gets a broad perspective of the data, Snowy now suggests that Tintin should look at other fields such as the movie ratings. Realizing that he has not considered movie ratings, Tintin selects the recommended utterance as his input. Remembering that Tintin had grouped data by content ratings while looking for trends, Snowy now suggests applying a filter to focus on PG-13 movies. Since this was a group of movies he was interested in earlier, Tintin uses the suggested utterance and confirms that the ratings from different platforms are fairly correlated. Next, Tintin wants to resume his investigation of the return on investment by comparing gross and budget. Since he knows which fields he wants to look at, he uses the manual view specification panel to update the current chart. Snowy clears the natural language input box since the previous utterance is no longer active, but still updates his recommendations in case Tintin wants to issue new natural language utterances. Through the follow-up recommendations, Tintin realizes he has not considered the creative types and selects an utterance to see the types of movies as part of the active chart. Finally, to inspect movies with a high gross and return on investment, Tintin selects points on the chart. As he makes his selection, Snowy suggests utterances he could use to perform calculations on his selected points. Tintin issues the utterance to compute average values and notes the potential return on investment for PG-13 movies that belong to specific genres and creative types to share with his financial team.